What's up guys, Andre here, and today I'd like to show you how to use Electron with Vue.js. In my last video, we took a look at the basics of building desktop apps with Electron, and now I'd like to see how we can use Vue.js. After some research, I came across this package, which is very popular and seems to be a good choice. However, it only supports Vue CLI version 2 and its template system. So if you're still using Vue CLI 2, this is a good choice. From reading the GitHub issues, it looks like the creator of this package is in the process of rewriting it to support Vue CLI 3. So after more research, I came across this package, which is a plugin for Vue CLI 3 that works really well. So this is what we'll be using here. And just to recap, here is the app that we built out in the last video, and we're going to rebuild this using Vue in this one. So it's just a Reddit clone that pulls from a subreddit and displays a picture. Cool. Okay, let's start off by making a normal web Vue CLI application. So let's just do Vue. Let me just show you what version I'm using. It's version 3. So Vue create. Let's call it Electron Vue example. And I'm going to add the router and also Vuex just to show you that this works within Electron as well. And we'll just do whatever's default here. Okay, so let me just cd into that and then run npm run serve just to show you the boilerplate for the web application, and then we'll add the plugin. Okay, so here's the scaffolded app using Vue CLI 3, and you can see that the router is working here. Just take a look at the defaults. Electron Vue. Let me just open up my code editor, and you can see we have a router here that has those two paths, home and about, and they are within here as components. And we also have Vuex and a global store, which we can also use in Electron. Okay, so to install the plugin, all we have to do is run this command. So Vue add Electron builder. Let's go ahead and do that. Let me just stop this and do Vue add Electron builder. Okay, and now that's done. And you can see that these are the files that were changed. So the main thing we have to take a look at is this background.js file. So let's take a look at that. So it lives right here. And if you remember the last video, this is equivalent to the main.js that we built and is the process that's running so Electron can work properly. So we'll definitely be making changes here to do things like add new windows and toggle them on and off. So to run this, all we have to do is do npm run serve Electron, and then this web app that was running before should now be an Electron app. So let's close that. And then let's run npm run serve Electron. And there you go. Let me just make this bigger. That same web app we had is now working in Electron. And as you can see, the router works. And even Vue DevTools works. So yeah, everything that works in the web app is now working within an Electron app. So that's great. So let's go ahead and rebuild that Reddit clone we built using Vue. So let me just reset this hello world component, and I'm going to remove everything here. And see if this works. And it should hot reload. And there you go, it does. Cool. And this is coming from, we'll leave the routes for now. Let me just take out that. It's coming from this home route. So let me just take out this logo. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll leave the routes in because we're going to be making use of the routes when we create new windows. Okay, first I want to Bootstrap List. I would like to just have a list in here, and I'm going to use Bootstrap for that. So yeah, this is going to be sort of similar to the last video if you saw that. So I want to use this type of list in Bootstrap. So I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to paste it in my code. Back to hello world. We'll do everything in hello world. And just paste that in there. Indent that. All right. Okay. So instead of importing Bootstrap, I'm just going to paste in the style specific to this list group flush, just so I don't have to import all of Bootstrap. It's only a few rules and just rip straight from Bootstrap. Okay, see how that looks. Okay, it looks good. It looks like Vue centering this. I don't want it to center. I think that's in the main component here. Yeah, right here. Let me just remove this. Okay, cool. Okay, now let's install Axios so we can make a Ajax call to the Reddit API. So I am going to do npm install Axios. Okay, let's go ahead and use Axios. So let's use it in hello world. I'll just do it right here. And I'm going to use the old way of importing because I think you can do the import here in Vue, but I'm going to stick to the old way because that's the way I did it in Electron in the original video. And let's go ahead and make a created lifecycle hook, and then we can make an Ajax call to the API here. So axios.get https reddit.com/r/aww.json, then response, and let's just console log it to see if we're getting it. And I already know the JSON response .data.children, and then let me just quickly put in the error case. Error, console log error. Okay. Sorry, let me take out the semicolons. All right, let's give this a try. Back to Electron, and let's see what we get. Okay, we are getting a CORS error here. So to fix that, go to your background.js file, and we have to change where we're creating a browser window to, we need to set some sort of preferences here. And when you go to compile this to production, you should turn this off. But for development, we should turn it on so we don't get these CORS issues. So it's web preferences, and then that's going to be an object. And then it's web security false. So if I save this, it's going to restart Electron. And there you go. Now we're getting the response from the Reddit API. Cool. All right, so what's next? Let's make a new data property here to store the posts coming back. So we'll do, let's put it underneath actually. Actually, put it here. Data return posts is an empty array. And then we'll set the posts here. This. Now in our template, we can iterate over this. So we can do a v4 here. Let me just put this on its own line. So right here, we can do a v4 post in posts. And then we'll give it a key of post post.data.id. Again, just look at the JSON coming back and you'll see that there's an ID there. And then we can just render out the post.data.title. And we can remove these because we're iterating over that array coming back, and let's see if this works. Let's take a look at the console here. Posts should be this posts. Save that, go back to Electron, and there we go. So we're getting the title, but we also want an image here. So let's go ahead and change our structure of our markup. So we want the list item to be a flex container. So we'll give it a class of flex container. And then some CSS down here. Just do flex container, display flex, and align items center. So save that. And now we need two flex items. One's going to be an image. So the image source is going to be post.data.thumbnail. And we'll just put thumb in here. And then the title will be just a div. And that should work. Cool. We just have to give it some CSS. Let's give the image a class of thumbnail. And let's define that down here. The thumbnail width of 60, height of 60, border radius of 30. See how that looks. Cool. Let's also give it margin right of 16 or something. Awesome. Let's also give this some background color when we hover. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to target list group item. Let's give it a cursor pointer. Let's do list group item hover. Let's give it a background color of, it's a light gray, and that should do it. Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, now let's click on it, and we want this to open a new window with a high resolution image. So in the last video, I made it open a new window every time you clicked on it. But for this time, I just want it to have one window. And then whenever we click on a new one, we want the same window to open with that new image. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to work with routes here. So right now we have this about route in here. So it's just this component right here. So let's go ahead and make use of this. So I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to name it image.view. And let's just take out the class. Let's just say image. Image goes here. Okay. And let's also update the router. So let me just copy this. And this should be image, and this should be image. Okay, cool. And now in our background.js, let's make a new window in here for that image. So just duplicate this one. Let's call it image window. And let's duplicate this. Let's call it image. And we can take this out because we're not making an Ajax call in here. And let's specify a width and a height. Width, let's say 400. Height, 400. And let's set the parent to the window so they sort of move together. And we'll set show to false later because originally we wanted to not show, but we'll set to true for now just to see if it's working. And right here is where we specify the route that we want to use for this window. So we just made that route, and this is just an environment file in Webpack. So we want to append the route here. And since we're using history mode in our route, you would think that doing this would work, but it actually doesn't work. So let me show you. So this should open up the contents of this image component, but for some reason it doesn't. So to fix that, we can put a hash here and turn history mode off in our router. Just comment that out, save that. And sorry, I think I forgot to change the variable. Yeah, this should be image. Save that. So there you go, now it works. Okay, so since we have this working now, we can get rid of this routes menu here. I think it's in, where is it? Home maybe? No, it's in app. Yes, right here. So we can get rid of this. And okay, cool. Okay, now let me just turn this off by default so it doesn't show. So back here, show false. And now we want to listen to global events to know if we want to toggle the visibility of this image. So we need to use IPC main to listen for those events. So we can import it here. And actually we have to set this image window to this image right before this function ends. So right here. So image window equals image. And now we can listen for an event down here. So IPC main dot on, we're going to listen for the toggle image event, which will fire from another component. And we're going to take in some params because we're going to pass in a parameter. So those are the params we take in, and then we just show it. So image window dot show. Okay. So from here, we want a click listener, and once this is clicked, we want to fire off this toggle image event. So let's go back to our hello world, and let's put a click handler here. Let's do at click equals, let's call it open image. And down here, let's create a list of methods. Let's put it right here. After this, methods, open image. And we can use the IPC renderer, which we'll import in a second, .send, and we want to fire off this event, toggle image. Okay, and let's import that up here. So I need the remote and the IPC renderer equals require Electron. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. So we click this and it opens a window. Cool. Okay, so we have this error because you saw that I closed it, so it doesn't exist anymore when we try to show it. So to fix that, let's go into background. And let's go up here to where there's an event listener for closed. So let's copy this. And let's make one for the image. And we have to change it to close, not closed. Let's change it to image. And what we want to do here is prevent the default of closing it. So let's do e.prevent default. And now we can just hide it instead of closing it. Okay, see if that works. Okay, so open it, cool, close it. Okay, and it opens again, cool. Okay, now we want to get a higher res image showing up in this window. So the first thing we need to do is go back to here, and we need to pass it in from over here. Over here, actually. So I already know the JSON coming back, and it's post.data.preview.images, the first one, .source.url. So that's going to pass it in to this method over here. We can accept that image right here. And when we fire this event, we want to pass in that image as a payload. So I'll just pass it in as a second argument. And now in our background, we want to accept that. And we also want to fire off another event to the image window. So to do that, we can do image window.webcontents.send. We'll call it image. And we're going to pass in whatever's coming back, and that's coming in through the argument there. Okay, let me just save that. And now in our image component, we can get rid of this. Let's make it an image tag. Source is going to be, let's make a data property called image URL. Just call it image, and we have to bind that. And then let's make a script in here. Let's make a created lifecycle hook. And we'll get to that in a sec. We'll put some data in here. And let's do the image URL. And that's empty by default. And to listen for that event we just sent from the background, so this one, we can do this. In the created hook, we can just do IPC renderer .on, so we're listening for the image event, which is what we named this. And then use an arrow function, event arg, arrow function. Then we can set the image URL to the argument. And that should do it. Oh, we have to import. Yeah, this. How did that get up there? I don't know how that got up there. But yeah, that's correct. But it goes in here. And I think it's... okay, I think that should work. I have it as a require statement, but let's see if this works. Let me just restart my Electron app. Okay, let's click on one. And it works, cool. It's a little big here, so we can just add some CSS in here. Style. Do scoped. Just do image. Max width of 100%. Cool. There you go. Cool. Awesome. And some of them don't work because they're actually videos, but the image should work. The images should work. Cool. Okay, now let's add a menu bar just like we did in the last video. So let's go back to our main component here. I'm going to paste in a method. And this method is called init menu. And this is what you need to create a new menu. So this is the first menu item. And here are the menus within it, the options within it. And the accelerator is a shortcut key. So you can see I have a shortcut key for settings, and I have one for quit as well. And I have a separator in between that. And here's the second menu item, just edit. And I think I have to import menu from here. So yeah, let's do that. So const menu equals remote. Okay, let's see if this menu works. I might have to restart my Electron. Let's restart my Electron. Oh, okay, sorry, I forgot to run that method. So in the created method, or the created hook, we can just do this dot init menu, and that should do it. There you go. There's our menu right there. And now let's quickly just make the settings work, because right now it's not doing anything. So we already have it firing off an event right here called toggle settings. So we just have to create that window in our background.js and listen for that event. So I'm just going to paste in some code to listen for the event. Same thing as this. And we want toggle settings. And it just checks if it's visible and hides and shows accordingly. Let's do the same thing here for the close. We're going to call it settings. Let me just grab this. Let's call it settings. And it's called settings. And same with this. This is going to be settings. And we have to make that route. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Let me just duplicate this one. Settings.view. Settings. Go here. Let's go to router. Let's copy this. So settings. And this is settings. Okay. Cool. And make a new one here called settings. That's fine. Show false. Parent window. Let's do one here called settings window. And we have to set that down here. Yeah, settings window. Settings window gets settings. Cool. Alrighty, let's see if this works. Okay, let's try the settings. Electron settings. And I am missing something. Okay, so the toggling works. If I close it and open it again, it still works. It's just not showing the component. Sorry, I forgot to change this. Save that. And open the settings, and there you go. Cool. So there you have it, guys. We managed to build out this Electron app using Vue.js instead of vanilla JavaScript. As you can see, this plugin works really nicely with Vue CLI 3, so you can get going on building out your desktop app with Electron and Vue. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.